is Tamara Hansen, and you are listening to the Love Alchemy Podcast. This is about personal transformation. It is about finding that divine love within, the divine love that we are all missing, that we are unaware of. Something that has been lost along the way, all these years, these centuries that this love, this beautiful love, has been taught out of us. It has been suppressed. Because when we find that true divine love within ourselves, then we become more powerful. We become so much greater and bigger than what we think we are. So sit back, grab a tea or a coffee, and let's get into it. Let's get into Love Alchemy and what this journey is all about. Again, my name is Tamara Hansen, and I am a love alchemist, a certified meditation instructor. I have a BA majoring in psychology, and I'm also a Reiki master. And you can find me at www.lovealchemywellness.ca. And you can find many services on there. I am currently writing a book on self-love. And I have another book as well that's in the process called These Words of Love. And both will be published soon. I also have a self-love journal called Go Love Yourself. Self-love journal, and that is on Amazon. I'll ensure to include the links below so you can take a look. So without further ado, let's get moving. So this is episode 1 of season 2 of the Love Alchemy Podcast, and I've decided that we would go on this journey, the hero's journey, or a quest for the next few episodes, where we will dive into what the hero's journey is, and that we are essentially always on this hero's journey because we're always being called to do something, and it's up to us if we want to refuse the call or if we want to take the call. So Joseph Campbell, he wrote a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces, where he speaks about the hero's quest and the stages of a hero that it takes to achieve transformation. And Campbell said that the hero's journey was a model to carry the individual through the stages of one's life. And we can see this in books, in movies. So, for instance, Star Wars or Harry Potter series, or the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. We also have The Wizard of Oz. And when you start to look at these books or at these movies, you begin to see it. You begin to see the quest, the journey that this person or group of people take for transformation. So the journey can be broken down into 12 stages with 3 parts. And these 3 parts are broken down to departure, initiation, and the return. So today, like I said, we will begin the hero's quest. And really, it's kind of a teaser to my self-love workbook that will be coming out by the end of September, beginning of October. I haven't confirmed a date yet. So, but this journey, we are always on this path. And when we start out, when we begin this journey, it's about accepting the call to something new. Where we will step out onto the path into transformation. And we all want change and transformation. Sometimes we just don't take that first step, take that initial leap of faith to see what's in store for us, to have that experience. So when we step out onto the path, this is where we come face to face with all of the things that we have recognized as being old or outdated, or that they no longer serve us and we need to release them. And so this includes patterns or habits, things that hold us back, anything that keeps us stuck. So what is keeping us stuck? What is it that we would like to change, or that we need to change to move forward on this path? And that is all about the quest, the journey into greater transformation, into a deeper understanding of who we are. So have you been feeling the call to change things, to change up patterns and habits? So that's where the quest starts, is there is something pulling us, poking at us to change something in our lives. And we feel drawn to something new, drawn to take that step. But then there's that hesitation when we are about to step onto that path, that new path to that new thing, to take that step forward. There's that hesitation that comes with it. And this is the beginning of the hero's quest. Campbell said in The Hero with 1,000 Faces, summing up this journey, the mythological hero setting forth from his common day hut or castle is lured, carried away, or else voluntarily proceeds to the threshold of adventure. There he encounters a shadow presence that guards the passage. The hero may defeat or conciliate this power and go alive into the kingdom of the dark. The brother battle, dragon battle, offering charm, or be slain by the opponent and descend in death, dismemberment, crucifixion. Beyond the threshold, then, the hero journeys through a world of unfamiliar yet strangely intimate forces, some of which severely threaten him as tests, some of which give magical aid, and those are helpers. When he arrives at the nadir of the mythological round, he undergoes a supreme ordeal and gains his reward. The triumph may be represented as the hero's sexual union with the goddess, mother of the world, the sacred marriage, his recognition by the Father Creator, Father Atonement, his own divinization, apotheosis, or, again, if the powers have remained unfriendly to him, his theft of the boon he came to gain, the bride theft, fire theft. Intrinsically, it is an expansion of consciousness and therewith of being. So illumination, transfiguration, freedom. The final work is that of the return. If the powers have blessed the hero, he now sets forth under their protection, the emissary. If not, he flees and is pursued. Transformation, flight, obstacle flight. At the return threshold, the transcendental powers must remain behind. The hero reemerges from the kingdom of dread. So this is the return resurrection. The boon that he brings restores the world, and this is the elixir. Joseph Campbell said, we must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us. The path to transformation is calling. So will you pick up? Will you pick up the phone when it calls? Or will you decline the call? When we start on the journey of accepting the call, it comes with it a refusal to accept the call. So sometimes stepping out on this journey can seem overwhelming or frightening. Or maybe we don't see those immediate changes and are hesitant to keep moving forward. Maybe we're not sure how to do something. Maybe we don't know how to move forward and we get frustrated and we just give up. Maybe we prefer to stay in the same place, stay in the same time frame, maybe stay in the same situation instead of making a change, making a move or shifting or transforming. It's easier to revert back to the old than step into the new, a new way of being, because that is who we think we are, how we identify ourselves or others, how they identify us or how they connect with us. So we tend to hang on to that instead of stepping into something new, because that's how we identify ourselves. That's how other people see us. That's how we kind of maintain that connection with others. Because if we shift and we change, instead of answering that call, stepping out on that new path, then how will we be perceived by those people that we know and love, by those people who identify us in a certain way? So then we revert back to the old way because we want to remain connected to those people that we know. We want to be part of the group. We want to do the same things so that we can be accepted. However, in the meantime, those old ways of being are slowly killing us, are slowly, we lose our passion, we lose our drive because we continue to hang on to the old things, continue with the old way of being because we don't know how to step into the unknown. We don't know how to be any different. And that means taking a long, hard look at ourselves, at our lives, at what's holding us back and why is it holding us back? Why are we continuing to allow it to hold us back? Why are we continuing to not step onto the new path, to accept that new call to adventure, to becoming something so much more than what we are? Instead, we hang on to the pain and to the frustration, to the sadness, to the grief, to someone mistreating us, to being disrespected. We just keep allowing it. We keep doing the same things over and over and over again, thinking that we'll get the same result. Same day, same situation, Groundhog Day. Instead of taking a chance on that new path and accepting the call to adventure, to something new. And when we do accept this call, when we do take that first step on that path to whatever it is, this brings expansion and growth. And that is what we all truly want. We search for, we desire that growth, that expansion. But then we keep falling back into the old way. Maybe we are reminded of the old way when when we are friends with our friends and family, wanting to maintain that relationship. We want to belong. And it's a very slippery slope in some cases when we decide to step out and to accept that call. So when we are experiencing this newness, this new adventure that's we've come face to face with, and stepping out onto it, and maybe we step out a little bit onto the path, but then we refuse it. We go back to the start, to what we were doing before. And then we feel this push. We keep feeling this push that we cannot stay stuck in that same spot where we always have been. Even though it means that Maybe our family and friends won't recognize us anymore, won't identify with us anymore, may not connect with us anymore. But something is pushing us forward. Something inside of us is drawing us down the path to try something new, to be something more, to transform, to enhance our lives. So it's a matter of accepting that call to step out on the path and to keep going on the path. Because refusing that call, like I said, is like a slow death. Because if we're not stepping into our greatness, then what are we doing? So in the book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, we have a boy named Santiago who is a sheep herder. And in the beginning of the story, he speaks about a conversation with his father. And it goes like this. People from all over the world have passed through this village, son, said his father. They come in search of new things, but when they leave, they are basically the same people they were when they arrived. They climb the mountain to see the castle, and they wind up thinking that the past was better than what we have now. They have blonde hair or dark skin, but basically they're the same as the people who live right here. But I'd like to see the castles in the towns where they live, the boy explained. Those people, when they see our land, say that they would like to live here forever, his father continued. Well, I'd like to see their land and see how they live, said his son. The people who come here have a lot of money to spend so they can afford to travel, his father said. Amongst us, the only ones who travel are the shepherds. Well, then I'll be a shepherd. His father said no more. The next day, he gave his son a pouch that held 3 ancient Spanish gold coins. I found these one day in the fields. I wanted them to be a part of your inheritance, but use them to buy your flock. Take to the fields, and someday you'll learn that our countryside is the best, and our women the most beautiful. And he gave the boy his blessing. The boy could see in his father's gaze a desire to be able himself to travel the world, a desire that was still alive despite his father's having had to bury it over dozens of years under the burden of struggling for water to drink, food to eat, and the same place to sleep every night of his life. So essentially we've got this desire by Santiago who wants something a little bit more, and his father is saying, well, people come here expecting transformation, or people go to different places, but they still leave as the same person that came. And that, what does it matter to travel? What does it matter to take the adventure if you are leaving the same person that had arrived? And the fact is, when we are going through a transformation, when we are going through a change of some sort, that change always begins within. And it's always switching up that perspective, that understanding of who we truly are, and shifting that mindset. And if you listen to anything by Dr. Joe Dispenza, who he holds retreats, he has many books, but basically when we are in meditation, you should be getting up a different person than who sat down. And over time, you will shift your perspective, because when we're in meditation, if we are doing it in a certain way with the intention of rewiring the brain, then that rewiring will happen. Depending on if your focus is on the past, on focusing on what had happened, on rerunning or replaying certain things through your brain, as you're meditating. But if you are sitting in meditation and you are quieting or attempting to quiet down the ego part, the monkey brain, and just listening and focusing on with the pure intention of transformation, of creating transformation in your life, then that will eventually happen. So on this journey, we can see this quest, this hero's quest, in tarot cards. The first card in the major arcana is the Fool, which is 0. And the Fool begins the journey as knowing very little about the journey, about life, about the path, but takes this leap of faith and has very little fear. There is a little dog on the card who is the Fool's guide on this journey, and to keep the Fool on a safe path. So, and as the Fool continues on this journey, he or she meets the Magician and the High Priestess. And the Magician has the tools to create his physical world, the Fool's physical world, the conscious part of our world. And the High Priestess is the mysterious subconscious world, the world of the unseen and the unknown. The High Priestess is the unrealized potential. So we have the Fool who is doesn't know a whole lot about life, but seeks adventure, wants to take a leap of faith. Meeting the Magician who shows the Fool that you have all these tools and this is the physical world. You have these things at your disposal. But then the High Priestess comes along, and that is the mysterious subconscious, the unrealized potential that we all have within us. And at this point, this is where we may turn around on the path and go home, because we don't know our own unrealized potential. We don't understand it. And perhaps we don't want to explore it. We don't want to explore the unknown, because the unknown is scary. The unknown is uncertain. What are we going to get? What is going to happen if we take this leap of faith, if we take this journey? And we can stay stuck where we are. We can stay in that position where we've always done the same things over and over again, because then we know what will happen. We can connect the dots. We can predict the future. But by trying something new, setting out on a new adventure, be it a new career or moving or in love, it can be scary because we don't know what will happen. And that can make us turn around and go back to where we have always been. So we are here to step forth into the unknown, to accept the call to expansion and awareness through the marriage of the physical world and the unknown, unseen world. So referring back to Santiago in The Alchemist, where he has been having these dreams, and he's not sure what they mean. So he seeks the help of a mystic, a woman who is like a fortune teller or can interpret the dreams. And he's not sure if he entirely trusts her, but what he says is that he had a dream that he was in a field with his sheep when a child appeared and began to play with the animals. But children always seem to be able to play with them without frightening them. I don't know why. I don't know how animals know the age of human beings. And the woman says, "Tell me more about your dream." And he says, the child went on playing with my sheep for quite a while. And suddenly the child took me by both hands and transported me to the Egyptian pyramids. Then at the Egyptian pyramids, he said the last 3 words slowly so that the old woman would understand. The child said to me, if you come here, you will find a hidden treasure. And just as she was about to show me the exact location, I woke up both times. So he is on this adventure. He's noticed and recognized that he's having these dreams. So this is the call he's experiencing. He's experienced the ordinary world, but now he's having these dreams to call him to adventure, to something new. And he needs to know what is going on. And so this woman is attempting to interpret the dream for him. And so she goes into detail about how to interpret the dream, or how she's interpreting the dream. And he kind of scoffs, or he brushes it off. But then so he's basically kind of refusing the call, or not believing it, or I'll just stay a shepherd. I'm not going to go on this adventure until he feels this drive to continue down this path, and by meeting someone else who propels him forward onto the path. So, and we will get in the next podcast, where we will go on, continue this journey, this quest, as Joseph Campbell said, that the next part would be meeting the mentor, crossing the first threshold, and then the tests, allies, and enemies. So that will be in the next podcast, and we'll touch on the alchemist as well as we go along with this. But ask yourself during this time, the space in between the next podcast, where it is you are being called to a new adventure, where you are being called to step on the path of the unknown. And what does that look like for you? And why are you hesitating? Why are you not taking that step? What is it you can do to create a feeling of safety around taking that step? And it can be such a small step, but have a big impact. So where is it that you need to take that step? And how can you take that first step into the unknown? And now, as we go along this quest, this path, you will experience obstacles, and that is a given, but that is not something to deter you, or it shouldn't deter you. We need to find our way around this mountain when we are on our paths. Because when we experience these obstacles, we need to look at it from a point or a perspective of, what is it within me that I'm doubting or holding back from? What is it within me that I'm creating this obstacle? Or what is it that I need to look at or reconfigure that I'm not seeing? Maybe I'm not quite hitting the mark. So what do I need to adjust on this path to hit the mark? Or does it look different? And it's basically about going with the flow, going with and seeing the signs of what the universe, your higher consciousness, what it is presenting for you. Because in The Alchemist, Santiago has his own obstacles that he needs to move around. And he has his own doubts. But perhaps those obstacles are in our path so we can learn how to move around them. Or maybe the universe, the higher self, is trying to point us in another direction and we need to flow with it. So there are a few things we need to look at when we are on our quest. We need to go within and listen to our higher consciousness and what it is saying so that we can continue forward. So if you have a passion, if you have something that you know that you're being called to, then keep on your path. But listen to your inner wisdom, your inner guru, and begin to go with the flow instead of trying to control and manipulate the outcome. Go with the flow, but also create your own world. So know that you are not a puppet here, that you are not being controlled or by anything, that you have free will, that you can create your own world, but also look at how to flow better or allow better. Because in other podcasts, I've spoken about the masculine and feminine. The masculine aspect of ourselves is more about action and logic and taking that, being more active. Where the feminine aspect, and we're not talking about male and female here, man or woman, we're talking about masculine, feminine aspects. But the feminine aspect is more about allowing and intuition and going with the flow. So you need to bring those into balance. Know when to take inspired action and know when to go with the flow. And those two working together, coming into harmony with each other, then things come into more alignment with what we are doing and where we are going on our path. So thank you so much for being here, for listening. And I will see you next time for the next episode on our hero's quest. And in the meantime, take care. Bye for now.